Hi, and welcome to Love You Miss You Bye. I'm Christi Chanelle, and I am back with part 2 with Suzanne. Now, this ended up being more of an update as to where she is now and how she was feeling after the episode aired, because we filmed 2 parts, only the first recording uploaded in full. The second recording did not fully upload on her end, and it only taped like a minute of the second portion. The second portion is the connection between part 1 and part 2. So it's her cancer journey. I do not have any of that footage. That being said, I did want to release a part 2. So this is what I was thinking. I'm pulling some TikTok clips from her actual page that can give you a little bit of an update as to where she is now. In July, she is having her reconstructive surgery, and I'm thinking we'll have her back after that, and we'll really take you from the end of part 1 to the updated version of everything that happened in between. I know that is the whole point of that episode, was to actually talk about that, and I don't know why things happened the way they did, but in my mind, it's supposed to happen this way, and we are supposed to talk to her a third time because, Suzanne's actually become a friend of mine. So I think she'll be all for doing another podcast episode with me. And, I just like to hang out with her now. So I hope you enjoy this episode as much as I did and fall in love with her like I did. Let's go. The Love You Miss You Bye podcast. Let's inspire each other.
Okay, we're here in our lovely pink gown. Just waiting. I just want you guys to see what an amazing, supportive husband I have, who sits here at all of my appointments.
Real men wear pink.
That's right, they do. So the news is that I am no evidence of disease. I am beyond thrilled. It is a huge relief. I have been dreading going to this appointment, and now they will follow me twice a year. I will see my cancer surgeon in December, and then for the rest of my life, once a year, I will have all of my breast exams done out at UAB. I need to have a bone density scan done because of my hysterectomy and being in menopause and not being able to take hormones. They want to make sure that little old me doesn't get osteoarthritis. As of June 3rd, 2024, I will be considered 1 year cancer-free.
We're originals, right? We don't fall into a specific category.
So
And there's
funny.
nothing wrong with that.
It's so funny that you said that, because today I had therapy and I couldn't wait to tell my husband, because my therapist, he's this adorable little, probably 40-something-year-old Southern man, but he doesn't fall in line with the herd. He doesn't like the Bible thumping, beating over the head, you must be Christian, you have to go to church, you're going to go to hell, all that stuff. And he just tells me all the time how I tickle, he's like, you just tickle me to death, and I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, you make me laugh. And I'm like,
Aw.
oh, okay, that's a cute saying. But he told me today, he said, I have to tell you something. And I said, what? And he said, you're one of a kind. And I said, don't make me cry. Like, what do you mean? And he said, I mean it in the most positive way possible. You're one of a kind. And I said, but for what? And he said, because you're outspoken, because you don't let anybody pull anything over on you, because you've taken on a child that's not yours and made her your own. And he wishes that he has more parents do for their kids what I do for my bonus daughter. And I just started to cry, and I said, I don't know how to take that. I'm so bad with compliments. And he said, just know that I wish I had more parents like you. I wish I had more patience like you. And he said, I don't say that much about Northerners. He said, but he said, I really enjoy having you as a patient. And I said, well, I just cried. And I'm like, that means so much to me. And it carried with me through the whole day, to know that somebody sees me for who I am and allows me to express myself, and will tell me if I'm wrong. And that's fine. But like, he lets me be who I'm feeling in that moment. And that's why I so truly believe in therapy for anything in your life. And he really made me feel something today. So that was great.
I have never been to therapy in my life.
Really, really.
And yes, but I know how good it can be for a lot of people.
Hmm.
I was more of a hold it in type of person. I don't want to share my pain with somebody else
Right.
because I feel like a burden doing that,
Hmm.
just your friend. And so I have friends, luckily, that are like, whenever I pull back, they come forward because
Right.
they know I'm doing that because I don't want to be a burden. And,
Right.
and so that's why talking on the podcast, it makes me realize that the right people are in your life for a reason.
Hmm.
They want to support you. They want to be there for you. And
Right.
it's not a burden. And if it is a burden, they're not your people.
Right. Then they
So
don't belong
that's
there.
taken me a little while.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have to unload emotionally because one day you may just lose it and have like, not you, but I'm saying like you as in like, like,
Yeah.
people, you may just have a breakdown, and sometimes you have to be able to have at least one person that you can trust, the keeper of your secrets, somebody
Mhm.
that would never betray you. I feel like that's really important to have because there are a lot of people out there that
Yeah.
suffer in silence. And that was my whole life, Christy. Like I suffered in silence. Nobody ever knew about my ex-husband and the cheating and all that went on, except for my family. I never told anybody. So whenever people saw us together, they thought that everything was, great. And then when the day that he left, and I finally let everybody know, they were like, "What? You never said anything. We had no idea." I said, because I was protecting myself from the embarrassment, because people would say, "Why didn't you leave? Why'd you stay?" Well, I didn't have anywhere to go. Where was I going to go? I have 3 kids. I didn't have a job. I was a stay-at-home mom. You know, where was I going to go? So I stayed, and I didn't want to be judged, and I kept it private because I didn't want people to judge him and then say, "Well, it must be your wife. Like you're screwing around. It must be your wife." Like it's never, ever, ever, ever. That's a huge thing that I've said to people. I don't care what kind of wife you are. You could be the biggest bitch on the planet. You could be lazy and there could be dishes piled up and laundry falling out of the washer. That is no excuse for anybody to put their hands on you or for anybody to cheat on you ever and destroying your children and their lives in the process because my kids were never the same. My kids were never the same after he left. They were never the same every time they would see me crying and them begging him to please stop hurting mommy, please stop making mommy cry. It was bad. It was bad. But
Mhm.
the one that he left for, I had said previously that she was 15 years younger. She did me a favor because I would have never been able to leave. I got married and I took my vows seriously, for better or for worse, till death do us part. Like I took it seriously and I wanted to leave every day of my life, but I couldn't because I didn't have a place to go. And when he said he was leaving, like I said to you last time, yes, I felt like the wind was taken out of my sail, but I was so relieved that it was finally over.
Yeah, and now you have the wisdom and knowledge to be able to look back and
Hmm.
see all the things that you couldn't see while you were in the middle of the
Right.
storm.
Yep.
So, looking back, I like to think anytime a traumatic relationship has ended,
Hmm.
that you take something from it and learn something. What would you say you learned from that situation now, looking back?
God, that's a hard question because I know that I
Give me
don't have
something
to.
positive besides your kids. Besides your
Besides my
kids.
kids, that I was worth more than he ever gave me, that I deserved better, that it wasn't my fault. And the reason why he said he left was because I nagged him and didn't trust him. Well, I didn't trust you, sir, because you were cheating on me the entire marriage. I told him, if that's all you had to complain about, you're very lucky.
We're taking only positive. We're only talking positive. The
Hmm.
positive, you just said your gut was right.
Right?
Basically, the
Yeah.
summary. So that's another thing that a lot of women repress and push down when their
Mm-hmm.
gut is screaming at them
Yeah.
that this is not where they should be, that they're cheating, and then they have these suspicions, and they get gaslit and
Mm-hmm.
think they're crazy. And the husband is telling them that they're crazy.
Right. Or what
And
they do is they try to turn it around and say, "You're cheating on me, aren't you? You're cheating." And it's like, what? Like, where are you getting this from? So, my therapist back home and the therapist that we were going to for marriage counseling said that when a cheater is cheating, their whether they know it or not, their guilty conscience comes out. They can't keep it down, they can't hide it. It's subconscious, and they will try to put the blame on the partner, saying that they're cheating to make themselves feel better about
Mhm,
what they're doing. And I'm like,
mhm.
no, mm-mm, you're not going to put this on me.
Anybody that's going through this now, right now, and they're watching you and they're
Mm-hmm.
hearing that you got past it and you overcame it, and now you know that you should have listened to your gut, what would you tell people listening to you right now and they're suffering in this situation?
You may not feel like there's a way out, but if you have somebody that you can turn to who knows what you're going through, tell them and they'll help you. Because at that time, I had a best friend who had no idea. And she said, if you would have just told me, I would have grabbed you and your kids and the dogs, and you would have come and stayed with Mike and I. But I never told anybody because I was too ashamed. So don't suffer in silence. Don't feel that it's anything that you've done because it's not you. A cheater's going to cheat. And once a cheater, always a cheater. It's kind of like when an animal gets a taste for blood. They know what that taste tastes like and they want to go back for more. And when they keep getting it, getting away with it, or you keep putting up with it, the more they're going to do it. So you've got to find your way out because otherwise, in the blink of an eye, 23 years go by, and here you are. For me, I was in my very early 40s with three young kids, two teenage girls, and a almost 11-year-old boy, trying to say, "Oh my God, what am I going to do? Who's going to want me? How am I going to survive?" And look at me now. Like, I stayed home for
Hmm.
17 years to raise my kids because, like I said last time, I couldn't work because he was gone for work. But I knew in my heart that I had this passion for caring for people, and that's what I wanted to do. I know that I'm not smart enough to be a nurse because math is not my jam, so I just said we'll stick with medical assisting.
Still, don't say that. Yes, you are. Yes, you
I just
are.
I just I would probably just dose somebody incorrectly by accident. So um
Okay,
but
you're good. Don't go into that field. Warning, warning.
yes.
You just
So
prosecuted yourself.
so figure out my life all over again in the 40s. And I did. And I made a career for myself and I went to school, and because I wanted my daughters to see that you don't need a man to take care of you. You can do this yourself. And I tried to
Mhm.
teach not only my son how to be a man, but I tried to teach my daughters that go to school, get a career. I don't care if it's trade school, I don't care if it's college. Go to school, make something of yourself, have your own money in the bank. So you don't ever have to rely on a man the way that I did with your father for 23 years. And now I have to start my life all over again. That was hard,
Yeah.
that my daughters had to see that. And my son was seeing the wrong example of how a man should treat a woman. And I saved a screenshot from him one day when I first moved down here. And he said, I want you to know that it was never you. I know that it was never your fault. You were the best mom. And I'm sorry for everything that you ever had to go through. And that he promised he would never treat a girl the way that his father treated me. And I just lost it. I was like, that's my boy.
Let's
Hmm.
take people through. I know how nervous you were when I first asked you to come on the podcast, okay? We
Yeah.
walked through
Hmm.
it together. Normal, completely
Right.
normal.
Hmm.
Now that you've done it, you trusted me. You trusted
Yeah.
me. And I put it out there. How did you feel? I know you were nervous like premiere day on YouTube.
Yeah.
How did you feel watching it? Like what were some emotions going through your mind and
Well,
your
first of
body?
all, it's we like you can watch your own TikTok videos, like that's normal. But to see yourself like on a YouTube channel, knowing that it's almost like a little miniature TV screen. I don't know. It was like I had stepped outside of myself. I'm like, oh my God, that's me. And then I realized that I
Mm-hmm.
was so nervous that I made so many flubs. I'm like, oh my God. I said, my grandfather died of breast cancer. It was my grandmother. Like, I had the years all wrong. And I'm like, oh, I sound like a complete idiot. But I felt
No.
comfortable because you weren't, there was no pressure. And, you had said to me, if there's anything that you don't want me to add, I'll make a note and I'll take it out. If there's something that you want to discuss, we can discuss it. Something you don't want to discuss, we don't have to discuss it. For me, it was therapeutic. And honestly, like while I was sitting here putting my makeup on today, I listened to it again just to remember what I had said so I don't repeat myself because, menopause
Mm-hmm.
brain, I tend to do that. But John asked me before, he's like, are you nervous? And I'm like, no, not at all. Like, I adore Christy. Like
Mm-hmm.
I
Easy
think that,
peasy, right?
yes, it's very easy. And, I know that people are like weirded out about sharing their personal business, but then you're on TikTok sharing your personal business with all those people that are watching. So it's really the same thing. You're just talking one on one with someone back and forth instead of like, typing a message and hitting send. So
Mm-hmm.
it's different, but the
Mm-hmm.
same. But it was fun. I had fun because I think you're a cool chick. So that's why I keep saying you
Oh,
guys gotta
thank you. I
you
think
gotta
you're
hit up
cool.
Christy. You gotta hit up Christy. She's looking for Gen X women. I
Yes. Well, the crazy thing is, I saw your video the next day after you had listened, and
hmm
I don't know, you had this glow about you.
hmm
It was just peaceful.
hmm
And I was like, she freaking did it. She freaking did it. She got in front of the mic, even
Yeah.
though she was terrified. She was afraid she would overshare. She was afraid because you just get into your story and we're
Right.
having a conversation, and that's what you want to do. But then the biggest step for me was when you're like, I'm gonna put this on Facebook. And you
hmm
had already told me that's where your friends are, that's where
Right.
your family is. So for
hmm
you to take it and put it there, that was you stepping into your power. So when you told me that, I was so happy for you.
Oh,
And
thank
I
you.
want to know, what were the reactions?
So, some of my friends, one had said, "I never knew. I've known you since high school. I've known you since middle school. I had no idea about any of that." And I said, "Because I never told anybody." Some were like, "That was so brave of you to share that." Another friend said, "I can't believe you had the balls to do that." Like, because, on when
Exactly.
I, and then my friend Rob, the one that I spoke about, who is getting married,
Bumble. Hmm.
I texted him and I said, "Listen, you need to listen to my podcast because I spoke about you." And he's like, "Well, I don't have time." Blah, blah, blah. I said, "I talked about you. You better go listen." So he said, "All right, fine," because I threatened him. He's like, because he's afraid of me. He said, he's like, "All right, all
He's
right."
like, okay.
Uh-huh. So he listened and he goes, "Oh my God, you really did talk about me." I said, "Yes, I did," because we were talking about Bumble and how you were talking about like getting back out there, and I said how I pushed you to get on Bumble, and look, now you're getting married, and he loved it. He texted me the other day, "When is part two?" And I said, "I'll let you know." The thing that makes me sad though is that like my family didn't listen to it. I don't know why.
Which
You know,
family? Your sisters?
my sisters. That's really all I have because I told you I don't talk to my dad, so I sent it
Yeah,
to my
yeah.
sisters, and I don't want to push anything on them. So they didn't listen, which is kind of disheartening because I wanted them to hear my side of things and how I felt. But that's okay. I mean, they have their own lives. They've got kids, and
Mhm.
it is what it is. I mean, there are a lot of things that I would love to share on TikTok, but I am afraid because, people make backup accounts, and I have to
Mm.
like watch my wording um, for like a situation I'm going through right now. Like there's two people in my life that I'm not speaking to, and um, I know they have backup accounts, and I don't need them coming and pretending to be on a different profile and attacking me and saying, because I mentally, I wouldn't be able to handle that because I would know where it was coming from.
Yes.
And so when I came and spoke with you, I felt like, well, they're really not going to know. So, but I did post your clips and stuff to my TikTok. So, maybe they'll listen, maybe they won't. But I don't know. I just felt like here was easier because I didn't have like this little timer letting me know that like I'm running the clock like I always do. On TikTok here, I felt like I could say what needed to be said and you would just take out all the things that needed to be taken out. But I think that
Mm-hmm.
um, you made it very easy and you made it very comfortable. And it wasn't like I didn't feel pressured into discussing anything. And it felt therapeutic and cathartic in a way to be able to say the things that I said about what my father put me through because I can't say it on Facebook because one of his brothers is on my Facebook and my family is on there and I didn't need it to get I don't need any of my TikToks and stuff to get back to them and then it just becomes a whole big oh, Suzanne is causing family drama kind of thing. So, but a lot of my friends were
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh my God, like I can't believe that you did that." And when is part two? And and my one friend who I've known since I moved from Brooklyn to Long Island, I've known her since I'm 7 years old, messaged me the other day. She said, "I'm sitting here listening to your podcast, and I feel like you're sitting right next to me." She said, "It's so amazing to hear this from you," and I was like, "Thank you."
I have she co-hosts on a different podcast that I have, and she opened up in about her family trauma. It's one of there's a part one and part two. Her name's Phoebe, and she opened up about a lot of deep, dark family trauma that she had. And people, her friends, started reaching out to her saying, "We love you. We had no
Hmm.
idea you were going through that." And it has been so therapeutic for her. It
Right,
really has brought her a sense of peace. It brought her full circle. And I just want everybody that kind of sits here with me to have that because I
right.
know how much it means.
If somebody can feel better just sharing an hour with you and they feel better getting that out. Imagine what going to see a therapist would do for them.
Hmm.
I go every other week.
Hmm.
Some you could do once a month. You could do once a week. It just depends on your situation and what your therapist needs. But if talking to you for an hour makes somebody feel that good, seeing a therapist would make them feel even better. I truly believe in therapy. I think it's a great
Hmm.
thing. You just have to find the right fit. Sometimes, you have to
Yeah.
interview them and be like, I don't like this guy or I don't like this chick. But I like my therapist because he gets me and he doesn't mind that I'm from New York. He gets a kick out of me. So,
I had a really bad interview experience of somebody that had a lot of followers on YouTube. Okay. It was
mm-hmm,
horrendous.
mm-hmm,
And I was actually afterwards shook by the experience. It was awful. And I was like, I never want to interview somebody that is that type of person because
mm-hmm,
that's not why I do it. I don't care
mm-hmm,
about how many followers you have. And then I interviewed you, and my gut intuition was telling me I need to talk to the real people. And I
right.
interviewed you, and it was such a good experience for me. And I think it helped propel me into the journey of trying to find more people. Not
Mm-hmm.
everybody's going to be Suzanne, I know,
There's
but
nobody like me.
right. But maybe somebody will be cool, maybe I'll experience. So I have another interview on the first, and then the week after, I had mentioned today on my TikTok that there was somebody that I reached out to myself, which I'm an introvert, so it's hard for me to do it. And she responded today and said she'd love to do it. And she's got
Great.
about 19,000 followers on TikTok. So to me, and we're like babies over
I
here,
can't even get
barely.
400.
What happened with that, by the way? You were like,
I
I had 400 and then they
I,
disappeared.
Christy, I don't
What?
understand. I never ask anybody, like I've asked you, like, what do I do? Like, how do I get people? And I've tried and I've said, please like and share my videos. I'm not trying to be an influencer. I'm not trying to have 20,000 followers. I'm really not. I couldn't care less about being like, going viral. That's not why I'm there. But I feel like if somebody could just take the time to like and just click share video, repost my video, that video may just hit that one person that it needs to hit. So that day, that video that I had made when I had reached out to Jen, who I've mentioned, that, with
Mhm.
her, that she has an amazing story and I just adore her. Her and another woman, Stacy, that I follow, they both have very large platforms. And I messaged them both and I said, I've never asked anything of anybody. Could you please take this one video for me and just repost it? Please. You guys have so many followers. This is important for me. Please get it out there. And Stacy said, no problem. I've got you. She reposted it. I have all of my stitches, duets, like all of that stuff turned off because I see what goes on TikTok. It's terrifying to see, like, if someone was to take my video and then like attach it to theirs and then start attacking me from what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm not doing any of that. And plus, I can't edit. I
Mhm.
know nothing of TikTok. I've said it so many times. I'm not TikTok savvy. What you get is what you get. Unless my bonus daughter is home to help me edit, and she'll like, you've got a space here and a space here and a space here. She'll edit my video for me. But Jen wanted to stitch the video for me. And I said, I don't know what to do. She said, turn your stitches on. When she stitched that video, in a matter of a half an hour, 40 people. In the matter of that night, I woke up and I had over 100 extra people. And I woke up and I was like, good morning,
Mm.
TikTok. Like, hi, everybody. Like, and I'm like, what did I say? What did I
Wait,
do?
wait, wait. How many people disappeared?
When she did that, I think I had 330 something people. And then the next day I said to my husband, I said, oh my God, I'm almost at like 500 people. Like this is freaking amazing. Like
Mhm.
that's a lot of people. The numbers keep going down. And my therapist told me, stop worrying about how many people are following you. Stop looking at when TikTok sends you that thing like this many people watched your video for 7.6 seconds. I'm like, nobody's watching my videos because if they did, they would know that I asked a question at the end or I said something of importance at the end. I've even said to people, just fast forward. Listen to me and fast forward. So
Mhm.
each day since the other day, people just keep dropping off. And I'm like, I'll be honest. I think there's some people that unfollowed me because I claim to be a very proud Jew. And in the world's situation right now, and I will absolutely never comment on it because I will not get in the mud with anybody.
Mhm.
But because I am Jewish, some people may have stopped following me because I say I'm a proud Jew. And maybe they don't like that because of the world's climate right now. I think maybe people have stopped following me because I say that, I'm not, I don't get on my knees and pray. And that I'm not a religious person. I don't,
Mhm.
Christy, I don't know. Maybe it's because I talk too much. And they're like, I don't have time for this chick. Like, I don't know. I said today, I'm like, why don't you like me? Like, and again, my therapist said,
No.
why do you care what people think of you? Even John said, what do you care? And I'm like, because I'm trying
Oh.
to reach the masses.
I will say this. As an observer, I go and I try to figure out how I can reach more people, how I can get out there. Sometimes it's speaking when your voice shakes. And it happened recently, my last episode. It was very uncomfortable for me to speak about my views,
Hmm.
about this kicker, Kansas City kicker guy, and
Oh,
it
yeah,
stressed me out.
I
It
know.
stressed me out. And I'm still today I was getting 15, 20, 30 comments on that same video. It's still happening. And I would just say the way for you, I think, to reach more people is the length. If you could get a hook right in the beginning, if I saw you doing your oatmeal, that's a good one. That's you being natural.
Yeah.
And that's a good one. And but it's visually, it makes people stop. What is she doing? What is she doing? Or shaking something, or saying something like, "Oh my God," da 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 da, and then they'll stop. The key is the time. People don't have attention spans anymore. You have to get your message in, and then shut it off. And that is hard. That's why editing is so important. So you can make sure that the chunks are there. I get totally I feel like I could help you. Not that I haven't,
Hmm.
not that I have a big following, but I know the game.
Yeah.
I know the game. And
But I
you
feel
have
like
such an important message.
I have so much to say. I can't do it in 2 minutes. So I don't know how else to do it, and I don't
I
have
would, okay,
like a gimmick, to like reel somebody in.
no
I just
gimmick,
shoot from the
no
cuff.
gimmick. That's why you keep people, because you're
Hmm.
real. I'd say, but you have the people that want the they're consuming information at such a quick pace
Right.
that maybe when you start your video, you say, "Oh my God, this is going to be a long one." Go ahead, hit the whatever it's called,
Fast forward.
double
Yeah.
time
Hmm.
every time, or put it on your video right in the beginning that says double time. You know what I mean? And then
Okay.
they'll be like, "Okay, okay." People that do that, I do it. When they say that to me, I'm like, "Okay." I don't
Okay.
know why. I do. And I just started doing that recently, and I'm like, I like this because I consume it a long version and I can still get everything quickly. It's
And
just it's our
the thing
nature.
that's frustrating for me is that, like, if I follow you, I watch your video all the way to the end. Like, I don't just be like, okay, I can't. I
Yeah.
watch it all the way to the end, even if I'm watching it in fast forward. And that's why I'm like, I know you people are not watching my videos to the end because you didn't hear what I asked you at the end of the damn video. It's very
You're never going to
disheartening.
get them to do it.
I know.
You're never going to get them to do it,
I'm
Suzanne.
trying.
You're
I'm
not.
trying. I really am.
I know. I know that too. I know whenever I get a lot of followers all at once, they're going to fall off. I'm going to have a good chunk that falls off. And
Hmm.
that's why I'm like, okay, I want to get to 10,000.
Hmm.
And I know, nope, I want to get to 10,030 because
Right.
I know I'm going to probably lose 10 to 15 to 20 people from there.
Yeah.
I'm worried about our video. I feel like we didn't even get to like the update for you,
I
but I'm worried
know.
about our video.
Well, I mean,
What should we do?
I keep hitting the button that says low video storage.
Oh, wait, we're getting to the good part. But always have part 3.